I've heard it said that no one is more full of false hope than a mother with a new chore chart for her kids. And I can totally resonate with that. That has been my experience for years. I am that classic type A person who likes things a certain way, and having young kids, especially 4 kids 10 and under, as I do, all boys, it's wild, it's crazy, it's messy, and trying to get into a good routine and have some semblance of order has been really challenging. So many of our systems have not worked in the past. But I want to show you what has actually clicked, what is making a huge difference, and maybe it will help you as well. If we haven't met, I'm Amber with Solutions for Simplicity, and this channel is all about how to live a simpler, more purposeful, and productive life. Again, I just love sharing the behind the scenes of my busy life as a full-time working mom of 4 young boys, but more importantly, sharing the tips and the strategies I have uncovered after years of academic research into what is proven to help you be happier and healthier and more successful, and just kind of balance it all, right? Always an elusive thing, but subscribe if you haven't already, and let me show you this amazing chore chart system with the punch card reward that is doing wonders for our family. All right, so all I did was take a whiteboard and fill it out with the things that my kids should know they need to do before school every day, right? Like, these are the things that we do on a regular basis, the things that need to get done. And yet I was getting so stressed out because I was trying to monitor them and stay on top of every little thing and keep them from getting distracted, remind them. It was just so stressful, and I would end up snapping, and they were, we were just having some rough mornings, and they would leave for school feeling frustrated and mom's so cranky and all that good stuff. So I just wrote it all out, and we have made some big changes as my kids are getting a little bit older, and they're still really young, but my oldest just turned 10, then my second son just turned 8. I have a 5.5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So the little guy, doesn't count for chores or anything yet, but we are trying to instill responsibility in our kids from an early age, and I desperately need the help. As a working mom, I don't have time to do it all. I do have high standards. I want things to be done my way, but I am really having to let that go, and also recognizing that in the short term, this can be a little bit harder, right? Having the kids, say, help to make their own breakfast leads to a lot of mess, let me tell you. But in the long term, it's totally gonna pay off. And I would encourage you to think about the skills that you want your kids to have as they get older and more independent, and also the areas where you could use more help, where you need to relax. But let me walk you through this chart. Okay, so here is our whiteboard. The little green line divides morning chores from evening chores. And then I have a column for each of my 3 older kids for them to check off what they have done. I, just as a side note, forgot that my 5-year-old is left-handed, and so things are getting a little smudged as he comes in every day to cross off what he needs to do. But in the morning, my kids are working together to make breakfast. I have my 8-year-old starting the sausage on the stove. My 5-year-old is making toast. My 10-year-old is setting the table and getting everybody something to drink. Then they get their water bottle for school, they get dressed, make sure socks and shoes, I don't know why that is always such a battle, and then a reminder of what they need to grab as they are heading out the door every morning. And that's how it's done. Nice job. Love you. If they do that, they get a punch on this really awesome punch card system that I found on Amazon. More to come in a second. But then quickly in the evening, they come home from school and are supposed to unpack their lunch, help make dinner in whatever form we need, make sure their homework is done, do chores, and I have my 10-year-old clearing and wiping the table and sweeping the floor, wiping the counters. My 8-year-old loads the dishwasher after my 5-year-old has unloaded it. And again, this is taking a lot longer than if I were to do it myself, but it's so good in the long term. Make sure they take their vitamins, make sure they shower and brush their teeth. And so in the evening, they can earn a second punch. Then I just keep this dry erase marker right here next to the board so that they can cross things off as they go. And just like us, just like me, they get so much satisfaction from putting a check mark in each column as they complete each item. Good. So these are then the punch cards that have been so fun. My kids are just loving it. Okay, let's do this. Jesse, good job. Oh, how does it work? Punch for Jesse. Yeah, good job. Punch for Levi. We're running out of room. Just a second. Just a second. And Noah, you already did reading this morning, right?
1.
Okay, so let's see. Good job. Ta-da! The punch cards are really good quality, pretty sturdy, basically like a business card. And then look at the pretty colors that are so fun to punch out as different chores are completed. I just happened to stumble across these on Amazon as I was buying other school supplies earlier this month, and I thought, hey, I want to try that because one of my kids had done something similar in his class last year, and he really liked it. So I thought, why not try this at home? This was, I think, like 12 or 13 bucks for 200 punch cards, so really very reasonably priced. And it comes with the hole puncher, which was fantastic. What I decided to do as an incentive, as a prize, right, something that they're working towards, is to give them 15 minutes of tablet time on the weekend for every punch that they get. The other prize they can earn is 10 cents for every punch. So they have their choice. Do they want tablet time or a little bit of money? And I really tried to think through what I wanted to use as the prize system here, because I have tried different things in the past, and I was finding with a prize box that I was spending tons of money on little things that would just clutter up the house and the kids really couldn't get a lot of use out of, or they were bigger things that were really expensive. And if we ran out, then I would have to replenish the prize box. And of course, my kids were fighting over who was getting what, and no fair, he got to pick first, and then that's what I wanted, and it was just a whole bunch of hassle. The other big thing was that I really am working to spend a lot of one-on-one time with my 4 boys, and that is a challenge because there's 1 of me and 4 of them. But at the same time, I didn't want to tie personal time with mom to this chore chart system. I almost did. That was kind of my first inclination. And then I realized that that might send the message that my kids have to earn their time with me, right? That they have to work hard and they have to do something. They have to accomplish something and make me happy before I will give them attention. So I very quickly realized that is not at all the message I want to send. And I'm really happy because they are so motivated by the tablet time. And then this enables me to more clearly say, hey, I'm sorry, tablet time is up. You earned your punches and this was the time you had. Now it's time to do something else. Now, I do want to throw in here that my husband and I have talked at length about whether we should give our kids an allowance, and if so, how much and at what age to start. I received an allowance as a kid, and it's something I thought I would do for my own children, but more and more my husband and I are of the position that that's not how we want to do things. Let me know in the comments what your family does, because I'm really just trying to think this through. We definitely want to instill financial knowledge and responsibility in our children. We want to teach them about money. We want them to understand, taxes and saving and tithing and all of that good stuff, right? But at the same time, there are so many things that go into running a household, and we want our children to know that you just do what needs to be done, that we are all part of the family and we work together, and there are just expectations that are placed upon each of us as we get older, have more privileges, earn more responsibility. So anyway, we're not doing allowance, but I did think that 10 cents per punch was really quite reasonable, and I wanted to have like a backup option because my second son in particular is actually not motivated by tablet time. My first and my third son are all about their tablets, but my second son would much rather earn his money and save his money. He is our big saver. So I thought, yeah, 10 cents, that's really pretty fair, but it's not an allowance per se. Now, if your kids are anything like mine, of course they are trying to find out exactly how to work the system, right? What are the rules? How can they push the boundaries or bend the rules or get the most out of things for themselves? And so they were asking or started to say, well, can I earn a punch for this? Can I earn a punch for this? And I was very clear that no, the punches come from doing our chores, doing them without being asked, making sure that you do them right the first time, right? That you're not having to redo things. But then they suggested suggested that we could give punches for extra reading. And I thought, yes, that is a great idea. So I agreed that every 15 minutes of reading equals another punch. And I've been amazed just in the 2 weeks that we've been doing this system that they are sitting down and wanting to read a lot. Last night, my 2 older boys spent well over an hour reading, and I actually had to get on them to do some other things, which is great. What a good problem to have. And so that's how we have ended up with some cards having way more than 10 punches, right? They get 1 punch for morning chores, 1 punch for evening chores, Monday through Friday, and then Friday evening is when I tally up all the punches and we can break out the tablets on Saturday morning. Still not my favorite thing, but again, like, I want to reward them in some way, and I think this is more than fair. So my older son, right, has been doing tons of reading. My second son is racking up the punches as well. My 5-year-old is working to learn to read. He's doing so great, and I give him punches if the older brothers read to him, but that's why he doesn't have quite as many himself. And then I do also want to mention that I am considering kind of printing something out and putting it inside a plastic sleeve so that my kids can just write on the outside of that, and the actual format of the chore chart itself stays prettier and nicer. But I don't know, this is working. I might redo this every week or 2 as necessary, but the bottom line is that this chore chart system and the punch card rewards are seriously the best thing I have found to motivate my kids, to help them learn responsibility, and to keep things in our household running a heck of a lot more smoothly than they were, which is doing wonders for my sanity as a busy working mom. So that's the chore chart system and punch card rewards that are doing wonders for me and for my boys. Give it a try. I would love to know how it works for you, or if you have any other ideas for raising capable, responsible kids. That is certainly my mission. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone else that would benefit. I will put a link in the description for the punch cards that I found and I think are just making this really, really easy. But you could totally design your own. You could use anything, maybe make something on the computer, print it out, have your kids help with the process, really sit down with them and think about the chores that are appropriate for their ages. Whatever, I would love all of your tips, but again, this is what's doing so much good for us, and I really hope it helps. If you haven't already, subscribe for weekly videos and jump straight into this video to get my top tips for how to feel closer to your kids. That is sure something that I have wrestled with over the years when time is so limited, given my work demands and all the stuff that goes into running the house, etc. So I hope that helps you. I'll see you in there.